the nations of North America are ready,
strengthened by the explosion of growth and trade,
to recognize that there is no turning back from the world of today and tomorrow.
Hi there everyone, let's talk about the North America Free Trade Agreement and join us in this journey. The idea of North America Free Trade Zone came from President Ronald Reagan in 1979. In 1988, Canada and the United States signed Canada-US Free Trade Agreement, and shortly afterwards, Mexican President decided to approach President Bush to propose similar agreement due to the Latin America debt crisis. Then quickly, the Canadian Prime Minister asked to join a party of US-Mexican agreement because they are afraid that their agreement will be abolished. Then all parties signed diplomatic negotiation in 1992, and this agreement went into effect on January 1, 1994. Economic growth. In 2016, the combination of GDP for Canada, the United States and Mexico reached up to $21 trillion. The United States exports to Canada and Mexico have tripled, rising from $27 billion up to $92 billion. Mexico and Canada are the second and third largest exporters to America. Next, increased total trade. Since implementation, overall trade increased over $1 trillion between these countries. Lastly, increase in investment. Since NAFTA was enacted, the United States foreign direct investment in Canada and Mexico has more than tripled. The United States businesses invested $452 billion in Mexico and Canada in 2012. Trade deficit had reached an all-time high at $74 billion in the United States. Most United States exports to Mexico have consisted of mechanical parts, which are used to assemble goods in Mexican factories that are then imported back to the United States for a cheaper price. This process is known as maquiladora system. The United States suffered 950,000 job losses due to this system. In Mexico, the poverty rate rose at 53% as of 2014, according to the World Bank. This is partly due to the fact that 2 million farm workers lost their jobs and 8 million were forced to sell their lands at lower price. Impact on the business world. Firstly, automotive industry. Major automakers from the United States has a developed and mature global manufacturing base in Mexico. This industry is an important exporter for Mexico, with about 87% of its output exported, of which approximately 90% goes to the United States. In 2016, over 84% of the vehicles built in Canada were exported to the United States, accounting for over 97% of Canada's total export vehicle trade. Next is agriculture industry. The United States agriculture exports to Canada and Mexico have grown in the past 23 years from 9 billion to over 38 billion in 2016. Agricultural exports to Canada alone totaled to $21.3 billion in 2016, making Canada the second largest agricultural export market. Largely due to NAFTA, 75% of Mexico's food and agricultural exports now end up in the United States. NAFTA is relevant and we still need it due to the successes and impact it has brought to all countries. They are highly dependent on one another in terms of economic stability, living conditions, and also the country's growth. Any sense of biasness is unethical and we do not support USMCA. This is due to the imposed tariff on the steel and aluminium, the let go of Canadians' domestic dairy production, and the changes in car manufacturing deal.